All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, so we're gonna move on to public comments. We do not have any public comments at the moment. Were there any written communications from the public?
Will you bear with me for 90 seconds and I'm going to go grab them?
Oh, gosh.
It actually has.
About policy? Yeah, I have been. That last thing you just did.
Yeah, I just want to make you aware that we do have some Freedom of Information Act requests. The Freedom of Information Act training is not required of board members. If you haven't taken it though, I would recommend that you do. One of them is kind of lengthy, but what information is being requested is kind of a general overview is that wants information on one of the security officers who was on duty on a particular time, a staff member, and that staff member's entire personnel file, excuse me. My personnel file, some surveillance video that has already been overwritten, so we don't have it, we can't provide it.
Personnel files, is that something that
Some things, yes, so I'll have to go through item by item. Some things are subject choice, some things are not. And then some policies that don't exist, so that'll be, and stuff on the police officer. I don't have the police officer's badge numbers. That's a city of Decatur FOIA who wants it. Policy on lawful use of force on library property. Policy on use of deadly force on library property. We don't have policies on about those things. Policies on the right to keep and bear arms. We don't have.
this is government property.
It is, but it doesn't say about on our property. It just says what's our policy on the Second Amendment. So we don't have one, and I can assume that it probably means on library property, and I'll show them the rules, which it's actually state law.
Yeah.
And then I got, a couple days later, I got another one from the same gentleman. He wants a policy on bad words and gestures. We don't particularly have a policy like that either, so. But I'll send him our basic patron behavior rules. Neither of which mention bad words and gestures. So just a FYI, the two requests for personnel files will take me, it takes labor and it takes some time because I will have to go through
You'll have to go through them
item
and
by item.
maybe also go to the lawyer, correct? Or
Probably just to see, hey, is this, the bias is always toward
correct.
openness, and but there are some things that some things that personal information. We keep any medical information in a separate file. That's the law. We don't keep it in a personnel file, so that's nothing we have to worry about. My understanding has always been that that when I first talked to Jordan, and we were in the room, if he really knew off the top of his head, but my understanding has always been performance evaluations are not subject to FOIA, but disciplinary action, if there are any, that is subject to FOIA. So I do have to produce those if there are any. And a lot of mine is full, like, I did this training, I did that training, that kind of thing. It's nothing, most of it is going to be subject to FOIA, and most of it is going to be something we turn over without any redactions. But, someone's going to, if it has my address on it or the staff member, that that'll be redacted. It's just time consuming. It's not. There's nothing in there that's any because of its, two things. One,
Time-
the
time
attorney
waiver.
and the actual checks that you write to the
Yes,
attorney,
and the
and also
time.
the labor.
Yeah. So just giving you context for this request, these requests, so.
Yeah, and they could keep coming. That's just something to keep aware of. And so you know, he refers to an incident. The incident in question is he was asked to lower his voice. So,
Okay. All right, new business. We have software use policy, which is no change is requested, just a review. Apparently Matt had no notes on it, so
Needed a new staff.
if anybody wants to go ahead and send this to the full board for approval, I would take a motion.
Give a motion.
Yeah. Ashley, a second. All right. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Alright. Local history use of room policy action. Same thing with this one, there's no notes from Becky, no notes from staff, so, the ask is that we have just reviewed it and send to the full board for approval.
So,
Alright, anybody second?
Give it a second.
Alright. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Be done in like 10 minutes. Last one is the local history collection policy. So same thing, no notes, no corrections, just into the full board for approval.
Give a motion.
Alright, Ashley, a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, so, any other new business? That's on, or,
yeah, I think possibly this is germane to this group, but I just want to let you guys know that in the full board meeting in 2 weeks, there will be a gentleman who I, 2 days ago, suspended his library use privileges for 1 year. And he and I talked on the phone a little while ago, and he does intend to come and appeal that decision at the next full board meeting. What I'll do is I'll send you guys the patron report in advance so that you have it. I've got some video. The video is inconclusive, doesn't tell us a whole lot, but I don't know if I'll be able to send that or not. And he thinks we should have witnesses of other janitors. It's the patron report stated that he pushed a janitor who works for us, and as I pointed out to him, that he could be charged with assault for that. But anyway, it happened in the restroom, so we don't have a video camera in there, but you can see he goes in the restroom. Very quickly thereafter, the cleaning person comes out, and she gets on the radio, and then Alexis, our team librarian, comes in, and she gestures to Alexis that, I see her gesturing, and I got pushed. So, it is what it is. And he will be bringing his case to you guys. And his focus seems to be, I shouldn't have been denied use of the bathroom, and that's what happened, because she was closed the bathroom for cleaning, which I don't disagree with, but my thought was it doesn't give you leave to
yeah.
push people.
So this is right in front of the Madden, I take it then?
Pardon me?
This is right in front of the Madden, I take it?
Yeah. But the actual, the physical contact happened behind closed doors, so we don't have that on. Correct.
Okay. So the next one is old business, Roof City Library evaluation, still on here, I do owe you that.
Did you find the form?
I'm
Okay.
I'm sorry, but yes, I will find the form and I will get it to you. I have a half day tomorrow, so I should be.
And is it, and then my other question is do we then discuss, my compensation?
Yeah.
Because for those who are newer on the board, I don't get those raises that everybody got, but I don't get those. I don't get a raise unless you guys say so.
Those are my questions, my request that you, at least in myself, Samantha, basically the last two contracts, I guess you could say that you signed.
Yeah, I don't have one, but I can send all what are called advice forms, which is basically lays out the raise and when, how big the raise was.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I mean, you know the budget way better than us, so like, what can we also afford?
Well, we'll be talking about that next week, but just a spoiler alert, things aren't looking good this year. I will say that, but the problem is not on the expense side. It's just, what I was saying last month, but more of it. We're fine on expenses. We're gonna come in under what we budgeted, but we're gonna come in much, much lower than expected on revenue, is what it looks like to me. Unless there's a miracle in Springfield. Because it's a state fund that is coming in low.
And the IMLS stopped funding, so
Yeah, and we can talk about that if you'd like, because I did attend a state meeting last week, and I can kind of give you an update on that.
Yeah, and other business, yeah.
Yeah, so, and we're.
I think we're done,
Okay,
but
so-
yeah.
So on other business, IMLS is the Institute of Museum and Library Services. That's the federal agency that provides all the federal funding in the United States for libraries and museums. Everyone is on. Okay, so last week I attended a meeting on Thursday morning. I attended a meeting in the State Library Advisory Committee. We were told right then that they expected to get the FY 2026 money. And it's up for reauthorization. IMLS is up for reauthorization in September. And the call to action is to talk to your electeds in Washington and say, please reauthorize the Institute for Museum and Library Services. However, since then, my understanding is everyone at IMLS has been sent home for at least 90 days and no money is forthcoming. So what does that mean? For the state library, so federal monies to libraries are typically, and it is the case in Illinois, are funneled through the state libraries. And the state library disperses them in form of grants. So while we can point to where those specific dollars are, the upshot is there's roughly $50 million in grants that come from the state to public, school, academic, community college, prison, libraries in the state. And 50 million in various types of grants. Of that 50 million, 5.7 million is federal money. So that money goes away. We don't have to look at where that money specifically is right now. It's just that we have to find almost 10%, cut almost 10% of that budget. What kind of things are funded? That is what I have sent you guys. So things that could potentially be impacted are, and what I heard from you guys and what I addressed at that meeting is that we think that delivery services, digital service, statewide digital services are very important. I think that's pretty much consensus of the advisory committee. And I would also add that a very strong contingent is that anything that has personnel attached to it needs to be protected. We don't want people to lose jobs behind this. So, but the Secretary Julius is the state librarian. He was not in attendance at the meeting. Director McCormick, Greg McCormick, who is the director of the state library, seemed to think that if by some chance the money was lost, which it looks like it probably is, that the state would step in and fill the gaps. I find that to be rather fantastic. In the sense of a fantasy, because it's not just IMLS that's going away, it's FEMA, and, you know, I mean, there's all kinds of federal monies that are going away. And the state is not really in a position, as I understand it, to step in and fill all those gaps. I'm still going to ask my state representatives, you know, but I don't see that, certainly not an automatic. So I didn't think it was enough of a red light flashing meeting as it should have been. I also asked at the meeting if what you guys think the money's coming. If it doesn't, who has standing to take legal action here? Because Congress passed the continuing resolution. That's the law. If the money doesn't come, the administration is in violation of the law pretty plainly, it seems to me. So who's going to sue? And I was told that, at least to Director McCormick's knowledge, that discussion hadn't been had. So I don't know whether it's individual states, is it the American Library Association on behalf, I don't know who has the standing, but I think legal action needs to be taken, and I will continue to push for that.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. It just seems to evolve pretty quickly. I was skeptical when they said, well, we think we're getting this year's money. I don't know about that.
And you said since we had this meeting is when you heard news about like where things are.
That was two days ago.
Yeah, it was 2 days ago. But they're still getting paid, I think, right? Is it paid leave or something?
I thought I read a 90-day administrative leave.
Which means they're paid leave.
They don't have access to their emails or computers.
I'm not sure what the point would be if they're paying them.
Well, that's
That's what they did at the
That's what they
SDEC for the
Really?
Army. My dad, he said that all the probationary people got laid off, but they're still getting paid through September. But he's like, but now the ones who are still here, we have to do everybody's job.
yeah. So
Well, IMLS is a very small department. It's not. We're not talking about DOD here. I mean, this is a really tiny department. I heard. Do you remember on top of your head how many
It
employees?
started with 7, and it wasn't very many.
700.
Either 700
girl.
or 7,000. It was 700 or
Oh.
7,000, and I wish I could tell you which it was, but a lot has happened since Tuesday.
It's really it's hard to keep up with. It really.
Yeah.
70.
70.
70.
70.
72.
I
There we
would get all
go.
the prices
You
right.
win.
You've overbid. Sorry.
Dang.
You've all
I
overbid.
should have went.
It's
She
all
said
overbid.
70. There's only so many places.
Yeah, and their annual budget is $313 million, and 90% of which goes to the various states. And it's, the only thing I'm surprised about is it's taken this long. I figured
that was like one of the
IMLS would be
things.
one of the first on the chopping block.
Yeah, that's
Honestly.
one of the first things.
Did you say that IMLS only has a $19 million annual budget?
No, $313 million.
Oh, I'm gonna say Illinois gets 5 of that. That seems to be a
313
disproportionate allocation.
No, I said about 90% of that goes to the states, as I'm assuming that some of the courses overhead, but most of it is they just funnel money to the states to disperse. I don't know how much of it is for museums versus libraries, et cetera, but yeah, so this isn't catastrophe for Decatur Public Library. It's going to hit. I still don't think we have a good handle on where the cuts are going to come. I don't think we made a decision on that, and and then we canceled our next meeting. So I'm not sure, the sense of urgency that needs to be there is there. And that's my opinion. Greg, if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's like
every day we wake up with
But
something
like
else.
on a nicer note, can you give us a quick furniture update?
Yeah, so I'm told that the laminate, which has been the holdup on the desks, the laminate should be finished on the 6th. Well, I said the 6th, but that's a Sunday. Factory work. Must be the 7th. On the 7th of this month, and that on the 16th, the desks will be finished in the factory. I have asked, what does that mean for delivery and installation, and have not yet received a response. We are getting some more punch list stuff taken care of Monday. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but the punch list is the problems, the things that need to be fixed before we pay them. So hopefully that'll get a lot of things done. We don't have any date on they built the wrong desk for the security officers. It's just wrong. It was supposed to be about yay high, and it's about yay high. So they're just rebuilding that.
They're just sitting, right? Or they're
Yes.
more of a standing desk, or?
It's going to be something that there'll be a stool for, where they can stand at, but rather than a low seated one. So, they've been chipping away little by little at some of the issues. I asked your question about legal stuff. I emailed Jordan, and just this moment realized he never responded to me. So I will revisit that tomorrow. So, my understanding of projects has always been our leverage is the money.